Hello everybody, this is Mazda 3 and I'm going to show you help you diagnose some of the issues. That's pretty common for some of these cars. Let's say you go to start your car and you hear nothing but a click and it does not want to start. In this video I'll show you what it takes to diagnose that and how it might be very minor to the extremely worse. Let's start by the basics. If you have any car and you go to start your car and it clicks and it doesn't work, it doesn't want to crank, first thing you check is your battery. Now, there's a battery tester like this. It will show you the battery's condition. In our case, the battery is bad. Now, if you had a good battery, this needle would be between 10 to 12, and when you put a load on it, and this should stay within 10 to 10.5. Now if the needle drops below into bad or any of these areas, your battery is definitely done for. You want to change that. That's the one scenario. Second scenario is, let's say your battery is in a healthy condition, your alternator is charging, and you don't have any of the wiring problems. I have some other videos you can watch on Mazda 3 that will show you how to diagnose the no crank issue following the positive terminal. I'll put the links in the descriptions for those videos. And then if that checks out and your wiring is good, you're able to crank, turn the starter motor with the direct voltage, but your engine still does not turn over. So how you would do that is, so nobody gets confused, you will have to remove the starter motor and then do a direct test. If the starter motor turns, that means your actuator and the starter motor is fine. But if you add that back to the engine and try to crank it, that means your engine is locked up physically. Now, to avoid all this wiring stuff, you could simply take a socket in a long head braking bar to the crankshaft pulley and see if the engine turns. If the engine does not turn, that is the worst case scenario. In that case, you will have to do is remove your oil pan. Once you have your oil pan, take a look inside the pan for any debris. In my case, I do not see any except that because this oil pan has been drained and filled by the previous owner a few times before they brought the car to me. Then, every car has a different way to remove the oil pan. This one, we have to remove the AC compressor and the front timing bolts, the back crankshaft, transmission housing bolts to get to the oil pan, and it drops. This is the oil pickup tube. If you ever have a Mazda and you want to see your oil pump here. Next thing you're going to do is you are going to inspect every single bearing for a noise. You hear that? So these bearings are done for. What was happening is the car was driven without oil and it has caused the crankshaft damage. Now here's the bearing that came out of it. Right? So to narrow it down, which bearing is bad, you're going to loosen one bearing at a time. I'm not talking about taking the bolts out. I'm talking about 2-3 threads out and turn your crankshaft. If you are able to turn your engine, that particular bearing is done for. And if it doesn't, you move on to the next one till you get to the bearing that actually turns your engine. You make sure you tighten the previous one to go to the next one, otherwise your diagnostics will be faulty. Once you figure out which one it is, in my case, this engine is needing a new crankshaft. Labor time involved to get this crankshaft installed for this customer was not worth it, so he went ahead and got a used engine, and I'm going to go ahead and install that used engine for them. This is how you diagnose your click, no crank, no start condition of your car. Hopefully you don't have this bad of a scenario. I really hope you have just a bad wiring or bad starter or burned up fuse. Wish you all the best. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.